This is KGW News at 11.
First tonight, we have a deal. Crucial new developments out of Washington, D.C. tonight on a coronavirus aid package. The White House and Senate leaders of both parties appear to have a deal on a roughly $2 trillion package. Some details are still being finalized, but the package appears to include direct payments to most Americans, enhanced unemployment benefits, and an almost $400 billion program to help small businesses while workers are forced to stay home. A Senate vote seems likely tomorrow, with the House vote to follow, so a bit of good news tonight. Hello, everyone. Welcome to KGW News at 11. I'm Laurel Porter. Before we dive into tonight's coverage, I want to share a quick message. Life has fundamentally changed for all of us during this pandemic, and we want you to know we're here for you. We're here to answer your questions. If we don't know the answers, we'll try hard to get them, and we'll try to direct you to resources you need. And I encourage you to reach out to people you know who may be isolated, alone. We need each other now more than ever. And it's a sentiment Portland city leaders echoed today. They joined together to talk about their strategy for handling the coronavirus crisis. One of the big issues was the growing mental health toll the pandemic is taking. Police say they've noticed a spike in suicide-related calls.
I ask everyone to reach out by phone, text, or video chat to connect with your family, friends, and neighbors. If they are struggling, make sure they know how to access help, which is available through the Mental Health Crisis Intervention Line or Lines Through Life.
On that note, a reminder, there is always help available. The National Suicide Hotline has people working 24/7. That number is 1-800-273-8255. Police also talked about enforcement of the new stay-at-home rules. They say officers will issue warnings to people not following social distancing and will give out citations if needed. Also, Portland's mayor said the city set aside $1 million to help with emergency assistance for families. Here is a quick look at the latest numbers. Oregon now has 8 deaths and 209 cases. Washington has almost 2,500 cases with 123 deaths. That includes 3 new cases in Clark County. And here's an image that can put into perspective why flattening the curve is so important. This is a chart showing the number of confirmed cases in Oregon growing from 0 in late February to 209 today. The goal of all this social distancing is to slow down that growth and protect hospitals from getting overwhelmed. With the governors of both Oregon and Washington issuing stay-at-home orders yesterday, there are a lot of lingering questions about who can go to work and who must stay home. As Kylie Boshi found out, the answer is vague, and some businesses are being forced to interpret the rules.
Oregon Governor Kate Brown's order to stay home established definitive guidelines on where people can go and what businesses can stay open to help reduce the spread of coronavirus. But some business owners complain it's not clear enough. From construction workers to landscapers and retailers, we've received numerous questions about how the order is to be applied and who's exempt.
I have been very, very clear in my executive order. If you can't maintain 6 feet of social distancing, if you can't teleconference, if you cannot provide your customers with a takeout option, you must shut down.
The governor's order spells out only a few specific examples of who can stay open, including grocery, healthcare, medical, pharmacy, or pet store services. Compare that to Washington's order, which lists 14 pages of exemptions for essential critical infrastructure workers, including job titles and description. Among those identified as exempt in Washington, taxi drivers.
We're in one of those unique positions where we have to stay open. We have to give this, we're a partner of the community in a lot of ways that nobody else can fill that void.
Darren Campbell of Radio Cab in Portland wishes Oregon's order would have named taxi drivers specifically, making it perfectly clear they can be out driving.
It's specifically mentioned every black and white radio cab just gets a pass because it's specific. Everybody knows. So in that regard, yeah, I absolutely would like it to be spelled out.
Governor Brown's staff explained Oregon took a different approach by identifying which businesses must be shut down, like gyms or barbershops, because close personal contact couldn't be avoided. Then set criteria for other businesses to stay open, including allowing employees to work from home and strictly enforce social distancing.
It is critically important that we can both protect people's lives, protect people's health, and protect their livelihoods. And I think we can do both. I know we can do both under the order I have set forth.
Governor Brown said the state will continue to evaluate the order, and it could become more restrictive, meaning more businesses would be forced to shut down if there's widespread non-compliance. Kyle Aboshi, KGW News.
Within the governor's stay-at-home orders, people are allowed to go outside for fresh air and exercise, but now parks and playgrounds are closed. Many play structures are even covered in caution tape. Catherine Cook shows us the exceptions and how people are getting creative.
In Oregon and Washington, outdoor playtime is starting to look a little different now that playgrounds and sports courts are closed.
Yeah, just two guys playing wall ball.
Wall ball. For these guys, if it keeps 6 feet of social distance between them and it's outside, it beats the alternative.
It's boring inside.
All part of statewide efforts to combat the coronavirus by limiting close contact.
We were feeling cooped up, and Josue was badgering me to wouldn't play wall ball.
But we didn't have any of the equipment to play wall ball, mainly a red rubber ball.
They fixed that, but government officials say there will be no quick fix to stopping COVID-19 from spreading. It's why parks officials are asking for patience and understanding.
It's a really tough situation to be in because our job is to welcome people onto parks and playgrounds in normal times.
Mark Ross with Portland Parks and Rec says under the governor's new executive orders, all Portland parks are now closed. People are still welcome to use outdoor trails and walking paths on park property if they keep 6 feet of social distance from each other.
You can't keep kids from playing with each other in close proximity. So it's time to get creative. And as a parent of small children myself, I understand the inconvenience. It's weird, it's uncomfortable, and it's necessary because we have to give our healthcare system and our healthcare workers a chance.
Most school districts, including Portland Public Schools, have also closed playgrounds, play structures, and athletic fields. At city parks in Tigard and Camas, play structures are cordoned off with caution tape. An eerie sight, and one that will take getting used to, with the hope of better days to come.
And remember, this is all temporary. We appreciate it.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
The Oregon Dental Association is doing what it can to help medical workers on the front lines of the crisis. It was collecting piles of donated masks, gowns, and gloves in Salem today. Healthcare workers have been sounding the alarm about this, that they're about to run out of these critical supplies. This morning, the association told us it collected 40,000 masks and 350,000 gloves. Well done. Providence Health received a $2 million donation to help fight COVID-19. It comes from Nancy LaMotta, a retired businesswoman and longtime member of the Providence Portland Medical Foundation Board. Providence says the donation will help buy supplies and equipment and go toward COVID-19 research. LaMotta says she hopes by going public with her donation, she'll inspire others to give. More stores are adopting the idea of a senior hour when the most at-risk adults can shop. The idea is to protect them, but unfortunately, it's not always working out in reality. Some shoppers we spoke with say stores are packed during senior hour and people are not practicing social distancing. They also said senior hour had plenty of non-seniors shopping too, since stores aren't actually checking IDs.
They didn't limit how many people went in. It was a nightmare. I mean, we literally couldn't wait to get back out of there.
Fred Meyer isn't limiting the number of people who can be in the stores at one time, at least not yet. New Seasons, on the other hand, is. Both stores are installing plexiglass partitions at cash registers to protect employees. For the first time ever, the Olympic Games have been postponed. The International Olympic Committee says the Tokyo Olympics will be delayed until no later than summer of 2021. The Olympics have been canceled 3 times in the past, once during World War I and twice during World War II. The IOC says the Olympic flame you see there will stay lit in Japan as a light at the end of the tunnel for the world to see. The postponement of the Olympics means the U.S. Olympic trials for track and field will not take place as scheduled. They were supposed to be at the renovated Hayward Field in Eugene from June 19th to the 28th. We got a statement from Tracktown USA CEO. He said, although it is not clear how long it may take to finalize a new date for the event, our local organizing committee stands ready to welcome the best athletes in the country. The trials have been held at Hayward Field 6 times.
The Olympic trials, the last time it was hosted in Eugene, had a $37 million impact on our local economy. And so it is a big deal whenever things like this have to move, but we are hopeful that when it's rescheduled, it's going to continue to have that big financial impact on our community.
Tracktown USA says it's figuring out refunds for ticket holders who don't want to keep them for the rescheduled meet. A tragic update to share with you tonight. Washington State Police say a trooper has died after being hit by a suspect in a police chase today. Trooper Justin Schaefer was deploying spike strips when the suspect hit him with his car. This happened along I-5 near Chehalis, Washington. The driver who hit him was arrested after crashing during the chase. Trooper Schaefer was just 28 years old.